Hello, everyone. Today is January 7th, 2026. This is the Kubernetes Data Protection Working Group meeting. So let's see. So 1.35 was released. Now we started 1.36. I'm not sure if the release schedule is out yet. You check that. But let's just start to work on the things we want to target in 1.36. So CSI CBT, we're trying to target beta. Carl, not sure if you get a chance to update the cap, or is it you or Prasad? I'm not sure who will be updating the cap.
Probably me, but I haven't had a chance to
Okay.
update it yet. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, just to fill out the PR section for beta and then milestone change. And yeah, I think we have. At least we have the vendors, sort of vendors, backup vendors who said they will be, doing POC or implementation. So there are at least two for each, I think. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's this one. And then voting group sub. Yeah, I also have not submitted the PR yet, so I need to submit a PR for that. Moving voting group snapshot to GA. Um, and And then, so one question I'm having, I know that when we work on CPT rates for block volumes only, uh, in very earlier in when we started that, I think someone mentioned this change files tracking. But then we say, okay, this will be, in the future. I guess no, it's okay. Now is it a good time for us to start to look into this change file tracking?
But
Is there a need for this?
it's much more complicated.
It is. I guess it just maybe
Um,
just we start discussion, right? Maybe it's just I'm
well,
not sure what
so
what do
so
people
so
currently do, I guess.
the weird thing is that I come from NetApp
Yeah.
historically, and
So what
NetApp
do you
actually
do? Yeah.
only has change file tracking and not change
Oh,
block tracking,
which makes
um,
sense, right?
which is what was weird. But I don't know of any other company that does it. So are
Hmm.
there other companies that do change file tracking and have an API that would expose it that they would want to make
Yeah.
available to backup
That's the
vendors?
that's
Like,
the I'm not sure if like backup vendor have already been using those like a car.
uh,
How do you
Uh,
guys do
oh,
this?
No, we don't use any proprietary APIs for change file tracking.
Oh,
I
so
do
can
know that
you
NetApp would license their change file tracking APIs to various vendors. That was the model when I was there.
what do you mean when they what do you mean they license it for?
Well, the APIs are not publicly available at NetApp,
Oh,
but
okay.
they would partner with companies and make the APIs available to partners,
Oh,
and
okay.
then those
Okay.
partners would develop backup products based on the change file tracking technology.
Hmm.
That was my recollection at the time. I don't know what NetApp is doing now. I hope that they've decided just to open up these APIs and make them more generally available and pursue change block tracking and stuff. But I haven't been in NetApp for many years, so I don't know what their current strategy is.
Okay. So Castellan, you use Copia, right? So that's you use
Yeah,
that
we use
project.
Copia, which does POSIX, basically POSIX file differences. Yeah.
Okay, 1.6. Yeah.
I mean, it's metadata. So
Okay, okay, okay. All right.
and then its own
Copia.
diffing engine. Yeah.
Okay, Copia. You use Copia. Yeah. So is there any because I remember somebody I'm not sure if there was any, yeah, so I'm not sure if there was any interest in doing this because if Nani Nadav has this, everybody looks like maybe every backup vendor has their own thing, has their own way. I mean, maybe they use some open source thing, or maybe they have their own, right? So one way or the other. Then
I
me,
mean, how many file system based PVCs support snapshotting?
snapshotting. I mean, yeah, I know that we need to add that. We don't have that yet, but that's something
Right,
that we need
because
to we need
because
to.
changes have to be defined between
Is that
significant
yeah?
points in time,
So you
right?
are
And
saying
that's
okay? You are saying like not
it
not
would need snapshotting first,
yeah
right?
yeah 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 Not every but I think, but NetApp I'm pretty sure NetApp has it, right?
I'm sure NetApp has it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't
I know
know
we,
offhand, but they
okay,
might be there. Yeah.
but not every vendor.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
anyone who does NFS and snapshots, this would be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there are cloud providers too which support this, right? I mean, there's GFS and there's Azure file
mm,
volumes too, right? Which support file
mhm.
system. But I
So,
don't know. I don't know yet
so you,
details.
let's say, okay, so let's just assume there are, enough companies support at least snapshot for file volumes.
Hmm.
In that case, you can still use your copier way of doing it, or
Okay, that's
is
true
it,
because Copia doesn't keep state.
okay,
It doesn't rely on vendor state. It
okay,
has
okay,
signatures in the repo, right?
right. I guess I guess is it,
This would definitely be more efficient. I mean,
which one is
clearly.
more efficient using like if you
When
have a
vendor
three-sided?
provided data is definitely more efficient. Copia would not have to read all the files and get
Okay,
the diffs and do all that
okay,
stuff. But
okay.
is it a compelling argument? I don't know, right? That's
Yeah. It's still more efficient if it's provided by vendor rather than just relying on copier. Okay. I guess, okay, so there's some value, but yeah, it sounds like it's not as strong as CBT, but there's value. At least we can start discussing this just
hmm.
because we don't even know how the API should look like. I remember a long time ago, somebody, was it someone from Dow who start very beginning. We might have something um, in some way on the docs long time ago. I don't think we have details, right? So,
Yeah,
but
and then there also other, I mean, in terms of customers who use these type of things. So besides customers who use files directly, there are
Mhm,
also like KubeVirt based things which use file system mode to mount their root volumes and stuff, right?
mhm,
Those could have a QEMU file image,
mhm,
right? But again, I'm not sure whether the KubeVirt they use because they have an emulation layer they can intercept and do a lot of stuff without relying on file level backup, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're saying then they don't really need
I
that,
understand the thing who the customer. I mean, definitely, we've had customers who have huge files. I mean,
right?
without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, so far because Copia is very efficient at signatures, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and so even though your file may update, right, the actual data transfer is not that much. You do have to read the whole file locally. That's the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do we have any particular vendors? I think it should be vendor driven, right? If
Right.
there's
So just if there was any interest, right? So that's I was
yeah.
just asking to see if there's any interest, even if if this is sufficient. Everybody right now sounds like storage. I mean, backup vendor, probably every backup vendor have some generic way of doing things
Hey,
like
yeah.
copy something. Maybe this is not as um like
You would need a nexus of both storage vendors and backup vendors that wanted to implement it, and
yeah,
you'd need like a critical mass of
right,
certain amount because like one storage vendor and one backup vendor that implement it means it's only useful if you as a customer use both that backup software and that storage vendor at the same time.
Hmm.
Like
right. Yeah, definitely need to have more.
and the whole point of doing this in like a working group would be to standardize it and try to drive
Hmm.
more
Right.
adoption. And I don't know
Hmm.
what the chances of that
Right.
are. Like
Right.
if we did define it, would other storage vendors show up and say, "Oh yeah, we want to implement this API"?
Hmm.
I know the backup vendors would because
Hmm.
the upside for backup vendors is huge, but the
Hmm.
upside for storage vendors is harder to argue for,
Hmm.
especially because some storage vendors just can't do it. So they'd be like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
that,
gonna.
that's yeah. So we'll have, this is like question mark. We can, people have more input, we can talk about it, but it's probably not like something we want. would decide to do immediately, unless if there are a lot of people saying, "Oh, really need this," and the customer is asking for this, right? Okay, I just thought it feel like this is missing because we always say, "Hey, CBT," then we have to always say, "Oh, block volume only, not not volume."
And some of the pressure is relieved because like the one company I know that does do this, which is NetApp,
Mm-hmm.
already partners with backup vendors with a proprietary API. So the people that want to do it in a proprietary way,
Hmm.
and then it gets done,
Yeah.
and then no one comes and screams for an open standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you think that CBT wasn't it the same way? I mean, also right before this one, like backup
Well,
vendor
that's
does
true, but
this, right?
I think CBT has too many proprietary APIs,
Okay.
right? And I think the difference is that Kubernetes cluster stuff has moved across so many infrastructures.
Mm-hmm.
There's immense value, right, for portability
Mm-hmm.
in the standard.
Mm-hmm. Right. But for
Yeah,
file, it's like we
the,
don't have
the,
this
the
problem.
moment you
That's what
have multiple storage vendors implementing it different ways,
Mhm.
that's when you say, oh, wait, this
Okay.
is bad,
I see what
right?
you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So right now, basically, sounds like it's are you sure it's only that?
I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
I would be
Okay.
surprised if nobody else does it, but NetApp is the only one I know of.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Maybe there are others, but we're not sure. So if there's just one, definitely there's no, does not make sense to have a common API. It's, that they don't even have incentive just to implement this because they already have something and yeah.
And NetApp has historically tried to keep it private. They don't want an open standard that anyone can integrate with. They want to be able to control who has access.
They
Um,
want to have they think that's their advantage.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I think the main advantage is your QA matrix gets a little easier because you know who's using the API and your testing can be more focused on specific use
Mhm.
cases than having to support anyone doing anything. It's just a
Yeah,
lot harder to test when you
right.
have a wide open API. I'm
Right.
guessing that's the reason, but who
Mhm.
knows?
Mhm. Yeah. Like even this for CBT, right? Like we know some vendor they have the support, but they didn't really say they want to implement it yet, right? Like we know is AWS has this, right? But they didn't really I think they actually joined the meeting some time back, but it sounds like
I
they
think
don't
it's
have any
probably a matter of priorities, right? I mean,
yeah, it sounds like
do
right
they
now they
have
have
enough
not
money tied up to it, right?
yeah, it sounds like they have not yeah, maybe re there's no request or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so then this one is not something that we want to do immediately, just we'll just bring it up at least for discussion. Unless if this comes up again, then we can work on it. Um, so I think white paper, David said there's no update yet, so he will update next time. Uh, okay, so I think that's all I have here. So I think Blaine from Cozy side, he wanted to talk about like backup for the buckets, but he couldn't join this time. So next meeting he will join. So let's see, we can talk about it next time. I think
How many people do bucket snapshots? That was another
I'm
weird thing
sure.
that
So
that
the bucket snap, yes.
NetApp does bucket snapshots, and I don't know if Cozy is interested in
No,
supporting. I mean, I
oh, Cozy is interested, but right now Cozy is still at the early stage, right? So so because it was trying to move to, it's not even beta yet. It's trying to move to V1 Alpha 2. That still has not been merged yet. So, but after that, it would like to. So that's like in the backlog
Hmm.
snapshot. So yeah, once there's
okay.
snapshotting, then yeah, then there is a way to do
Well,
backups.
that's interesting. We do bucket snapshots, and do you also support bucket changes?
Oh, oh,
I
what's
mean,
that?
always
That will be
start
like
with it.
object. That will be what? There's a change object, change
I have
object
no
tracking.
idea.
Is
I
that
have no
what do they
idea.
call? It's probably
I'm
change object tracking, right? Because their
object
objects are like
diffs,
file. Huh?
object diffs, right?
Yeah, object. I don't know. Do you do like the
No,
diffs within?
no, we don't, but we
Okay,
do. The only feature I think we use is object versioning because
version.
we use
Okay.
that. Yeah, there's support for pinning for automatic versioning of objects, and we use it to support you know what's the term? Simon, do you remember? Uh, uh, yeah, yeah,
I mean, if you have
No, I don't.
per object versioning, that's your change object tracking right there, right? You just go and ask the
well, that's for object, but it's not at the bucket level.
right, but you can go enumerate all the objects and then ask them what their versions are. And if all the versions are the same as the last time you backed up, you can say, I have no work to do without reading any objects. So then you could implement
Yeah,
a backup scheme on top of object versioning.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
yeah, and there's an API for that. The S3 API supports that listing object versions and stuff. So
yeah, I was going to mention that a lot of the bigger object storage vendors just do per object versioning instead of snapshots on the
Mm.
bucket. Um,
So
again,
then if you just
NetApp is weird
version
because they
a,
implemented bucket snapshots.
oh, you're saying, okay, okay, that's more like more advanced. Then you kind of compare the two snapshots.
Well, it's useful if you want to like be able to take a bucket back in time to a specific
Mm.
point
Mm-hmm.
or clone a bucket in the past or
Right.
I don't know. I mean, there's weird use cases, but from a backup perspective, I actually think the per object versioning is probably more useful.
Mm.
yeah, we use the per object versioning for immutability, to maintain immutable windows and stuff like that.
But do you support a bucket backup already, Carl?
No, no, we don't. We don't work
Okay.
on. We only work on cluster objects, not off cluster.
Okay, but you're talking about the version. That's what
Now,
I.
if someone made a PVC out of a thing and it was tied somehow to a bucket version, we wouldn't even know. So,
Okay. Is it okay? Is it okay? It's not object versioning, right? It's bucket versioning, right?
yeah, that's what I heard you all were talking about, right? Cozy bucket backup. Yeah.
Yeah, backup, yeah.
Yeah.
But does object itself has versioning as well? I'm actually
The S3 API has blob level versioning.
okay. So that's that like
Yeah.
all right. Okay.
Yeah, it's some counter that increments every time you do a put on the object, right?
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. And basically, it guarantees it will not override. So someone can't damage a blob once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we can talk more next time. And um,
Xing, did you have any observations from the checkpoint working group, checkpoint restore working group?
oh,
Because we
we
both
was
went to that meeting.
I think I dropped out early, right? I think they were talking
Okay.
about, so it sounds like they say, hey, this could have an impact on the PVCs, but nobody have really looked into it. That's my conclusion
Yeah.
from, right?
I mean,
Maybe we should be take a closer look. I mean,
that's the thing. I have this bad feeling that they're going to re-encounter all the problems that we've been working on in the past, and they just don't know it yet. But again, like they're coming at it from a different enough angle that we can't just show up and be like, here's how we did it with persistent storage.
mhm.
So I don't have any specific thoughts other than we need to keep paying attention. Um, but there's definitely is some conceptual overlap with what they're trying to do and what we've been doing for years.
Yeah,
Um,
I think, but it look at all of those things happening. Usually, people just look at only the compute side first, right? It's like the storage is the last thing they will worry about, right? If you look at it, all the features
yeah, I
like
think
that.
they're coming at it from the very specific angle of like we're doing these AI workloads where we have this specific problem where we need to be able to checkpoint our models and
Mhm.
and roll them back or roll them forward as we train them, in the face of hardware failures and various other things that happen. And so
Mhm.
like that they're tunnel visioned on that problem, and and they'll eventually realize that like everything has this checkpoint restore behavior where you would want to be able to snapshot stuff and your PVCs and but I don't think that they're looking at it at that level yet. They're just trying to figure out
Yeah, it's
for,
just they're
for a
just saying
specific use case.
it's like they're just saying, oh, we need to look at this, but but nobody's looking at this. Yeah. So, but probably we probably should, if we can, at least join that meeting and see.
I'm going to keep going to those meetings and
Hmm?
see if I can contribute anything.
Yeah,
But
that'll
yeah,
be great. And then if I will try to, but otherwise, just to bring us some update, and then we'll see if there's anything we need to do. And also, oh, remember they are saying, I think somebody was saying Google has something already. They have some APIs, right? I remember I forgot the details. I remember some talking about what they do from Google side.
I don't remember that. I mean, I know that Google has some, but Google does a lot of AI training and has faced these problems, and there's some solution, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but even Google said I'm not sure if they handle volumes, right? But I think they mentioned something from
No,
Google.
I don't think the AI people use PVCs. I think that's why this is a blind spot. I think the AI people are
Ah,
mostly using buckets
oh,
and
right.
local
Yeah, that's
storage,
true. That's true.
and
But if they're
and
using
so
local storage, they don't use like local PV, you mean? They just local storage. It's not, it's like a more like ephemeral storage type of thing. Well,
if even if it is local PVC, it's something that doesn't support snapshots, and so it's like
mm, oh, so they don't
they're
really need
assuming
it.
that they have to solve the whole problem on their end because
Ah,
they're assuming that the infrastructure underneath them isn't going to help,
okay.
which is probably true in most cases. But like the worry I have is if you go down that road and say, well, we got to build a whole new layer up here that solves this problem, like then when they do try to expand it to other PVCs, they'll realize, oh wait, we just re-implemented something that already existed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I don't know how to stop that from happening. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
just inevitable, but
Mm-hmm.
we should pay attention and try to steer them in the right direction if we
Yeah,
can. That's
yeah,
all I can think of.
yeah. That's actually a good point. I think yeah. Please, yeah, keep joining that meeting, and definitely we should talk about it. Um, yeah. I think not just that one working group, there are other working groups, right? There's another one is called node lifecycle. It's also, yeah, it's like PVC side of things are, it's kind of left out, or it's all there are always issues with that. Yeah, similar.
Yeah, I haven't gone to any of those meetings. I don't know if I should. Um, yeah, they definitely need people with storage experience, and yeah, it's a pattern where
Mm-hmm.
storage is left out of things until after it's too late, and then it's hacked onto the side. I mean, that's how I feel like what happened with Kubernetes itself, right?
Oh
PVCs were
yeah,
sort of bolted on
right.
after Kubernetes was designed, and it's like,
Yeah,
and it hasn't been ideal. It's been
yeah,
problematic, but
yeah,
that's just how the world works.
yeah.
Can't can't fix it.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Okay, I don't have
Okay.
anything else. You want to end the meeting?
Yeah, I don't have anything else. Is everyone else? Okay, if not, then that's it for today.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.